From the Weather NorCal Command Center, this is your Evening Update.
Cascade Paint & Supply is Reading's oldest family-owned paint store, established in 1953. We are the largest Dunn Edwards dealer in the nation, and most of our products are made in the U.S. Our friendly and knowledgeable staff are ready to answer your questions and help you today.
Good evening, everyone. I'm Meteorologist Mike Krueger, and I'm trying to record this just before the 6 p.m. update, that is, so we can take a look at the radar, because this really helps to tell the story of what we can expect here this evening and going into tonight. We've seen a lot of thunderstorm activity in the southeastern portion of the viewing area. This band of rain that you can see in thunderstorms is working up the spine of the Sierra and around a big area of low pressure. The flow of that low pressure system is what's helping to drive these storms to the north and west. Now, some of the things I've been talking about here throughout the day is the potential for some of those thunderstorms to skirt the eastern portion of the valley, and it looks like that may be the case. And some of the confirmation that we're getting on that is, if you look closely here, you can see on the radar that we are seeing some of those storms around the Chico area. I'm going to take you back to the live radar here, and we're going to zoom it in here. And you can see some of the activity that we're seeing between Chico and Oroville on Highway 99. This activity is actually working its way to the north right here. Now, the main cluster of storms to the east here, those are generally moving to the northwest. So what's going to happen is, as these storms move up to the northwest, we're going to see the very western edge of those storms most likely skirt the east side of the valley. And some of the latest forecast models, in particular the HRRR forecast model, is getting really aggressive. So as we work up Highway 99, Los Molinos, Vina, maybe Red Bluff, Anderson, Cottonwood, Reading, and of course everywhere east of I-5 I think has the best potential to see some showers and thunderstorms. But again, we're even seeing on and even west of I-5 the potential for some of this activity to kind of move itself off to into the valley here and produce some showers and thunderstorms. But again, you can just see along the spine of the Sierra here, we're seeing some very active weather, and all of this activity that you're seeing here is generally moving around the area of low pressure and moving to the north and west. And as I mentioned, this is what's going to essentially skirt Northern California here. So one last look at that loop here. Then, of course, we'll take another look at that a little bit later. But let's go ahead and take a look at our weather headlines. And you can see we've got those mountain thunderstorms here, not only this evening and tonight, but even through the rest of the really through a Thursday. Now, we also have, with those lightning strikes, a threat for dry lightning. But once we get toward the end of the week, thunderstorm chances diminish, and we see much cooler weather in the forecast. We could get a taste of fall this upcoming weekend, and looks like as we go into next week, maybe even a chance for some coastal and mountain rain on Monday and Tuesday. But before we get into all of that, let's take a look at your Krueger's Quickcast for your Tuesday, September 22nd. Excuse me, September 2nd. We're not in the 22nd, that's for sure. But I'd expect overnight showers and thunderstorms. Now, you'll notice the valley, I don't have the thunderstorms in there, but keep in mind that potential is certainly going to be the case here as we go into the evening and even into the early overnight hours. So out the door tomorrow morning, well, I think most of it will have passed by then, and everyone for the most part will be dry by tomorrow morning. And we're looking at temperatures mainly in the 60s for the higher elevations at 8 o'clock in the morning, and in the low 70s for the valley as you're heading off to work. So again, you'll see there's an area of low pressure to our north and west, and another one to the south and west of that. And what you can't see on the satellite image here is another area of low pressure spinning just off the coast of around, say, San Francisco. The flow around that low is what's really transporting that moisture and helping to destabilize the atmosphere. And it's the flow around that area of low pressure that's driving these storms into Northern California. So there's a look at the satellite and radar here, and you can clearly see the rotation around that area of low pressure. You can clearly see the clouds and the storms moving in as a result. Now, as we just take a broad look at the HRRR forecast model, that's looking at the latest data. You see how it really gets aggressive now getting into the valley as we do go into this evening. But by around midnight or so, most of it will be kind of pushed up to the north. So a closer look at that, and as we take a better look, let's take a look at that. As we go into about 8 o'clock this evening, you can see some of the thunderstorms possibly. And again, this model is overly aggressive with those thunderstorms. However, with what we're seeing now, we certainly can't rule out that potential for some of those thunderstorms in the valley. So places like Corning, Chico, Oroville, even Red Bluff, and of course east of that, seeing the potential for thunderstorms. And let's not forget about the mountains, right? The mountains are also seeing those thunderstorms. That will progress to the north and west. Now you'll notice too, as we go into later this evening and tonight, we're starting to lose some of the energy of that daytime heating, but there still could be the potential for some showers and possible thunderstorms, even around the Redding area, north of that into Mount Shasta, Siskiyou County as well. But notice Trinity County, notice western Siskiyou County. Yeah, you may get skirted by some light showers, but that may dissipate before really reaching you. So as expected, and something I've been talking about the last few days, I'm not anticipating a lot of activity as far as thunderstorms are concerned for Trinity County or western Siskiyou County, which is great news because that's where a lot of the fires are, and we don't need thunderstorms and the erratic winds with those thunderstorms to create any problems. In the meantime, we're still seeing some of those thunderstorms off towards the east here as we do go overnight. I think this may be overly aggressive with some of the activity we will see early tomorrow morning, but you kind of get the idea. All right, so for tomorrow, we're going to be looking at more thunderstorms, especially for Siskiyou County, basically north and east of the valley once again. The valley, I don't think we'll see any thunderstorms tomorrow, and I don't think we're going to see any thunderstorms for Trinity County either, but still on the hot side for the valley with temperatures mainly in the upper 90s to about 100 degrees. But temperatures should start to drop after that. You see by Friday and especially this weekend, even Redding dropping down into the upper 80s. And there you can see Monday, Tuesday, we are going to be looking at temperatures in the mid to upper 80s. All right, let's take a look at the coast here. And there you can see the showers that we could possibly see for the coast for Monday, Tuesday, as well as the inland areas and even for Trinity County. Out towards Siskiyou County, we're going to keep that chance for thunderstorms through Thursday, as well as Modoc County and the eastern mountains, and then temperatures really plummeting as we go into the weekend and early next week. Still looking at the chance for showers even for Siskiyou County Monday, Tuesday, but for now I'm holding off for Modoc County and the eastern mountains Monday, Tuesday with temperatures in the mid to upper 70s there. And it looks like upper 70s to low 80s for places like Susanville. All right, that's a look at your Krueger's Quick Cast. What do you say we take a look at that 24-hour streaming channel? If you have a Roku Fire Stick, you can watch it right there from your Roku or Fire Stick device. If you have a smart TV, and you have anything with YouTube on us, even Fire Stick or Roku, anywhere YouTube is available, you can watch the 24-hour channel. Now, the YouTube channel, not only can you watch a 24-hour channel like this, but you can, on demand, watch the latest video forecast as well. I really love that feature. It's an on-demand type of feature. You don't have to wait for the 5 o'clock news anymore to watch the latest forecast. You can go right to YouTube and watch the latest video forecast. So be sure to check that out. It's also available on the 24-hour channel on weathernorcal.com and the free Weather NorCal app. All right, real quickly, we're going to take a look at the fire weather forecast sponsored by Garmin's Tractor Service. We're going to start off with the winds, and you can see by tomorrow morning, the winds, for the most part, really aren't going to be that much of a factor here, but still a little breezy through those afternoon hours, and it looks like that'll be the case as we take you into Thursday afternoon as well. Your typical southerly breezes for the valley, but again, nothing major, no major wind events. The fire weather risk, as you can see here, is going to be in that moderate to high range here as we take you into your Wednesday afternoon. It dies down again, but then by Thursday afternoon, we're back in that moderate to high risk. So we still have that high fire weather risk. It's going to be hot. It's going to be dry, but we are still seeing that potential for thunderstorms in the higher elevations. And how about that smoke coming out of the main fires? You can see the root fire, the peak fire, where most of the fires are, as you can see to the west. That's hopefully where we won't see a lot of thunderstorm activity, but the root fire may see some thunderstorm activity here later tonight. Those erratic winds may cause problems with the smoke. But here's the thing with the smoke that I'm noticing. Yes, as the southerly flow of winds pushes that smoke northward, areas to the north of these fires are going to feel the impacts and get that smoke. But we're not looking at a broad overspreading of this smoke here as we sometimes see with these fires. So that certainly is good news, but obviously bad news if you are in the path of that smoke. Meanwhile, we take a look at the satellite image, and again, you can clearly see that first batch of clouds and some very light showers that moved through in the morning hours for the valley. That has since then moved off to the north and dissipated. Here's that next band right here. So again, we have an area of low pressure spinning. The flow around that low is what's really helping to steer those storms as they move to the north and northwest. You can clearly see that spinning low pressure system right here. You see that? So that's what I'm talking about here, and it's picking up in that monsoon moisture, and it's bringing that up here into Northern California, and that's what's going to be skirting the valley here later this evening and tonight. There you can see most of the moisture tomorrow will be north and east of the valley. There's that sliver of drier air to the west over Trinity County. Now Thursday, it looks like we may see a little bit more moisture, especially after the north and west, but again, northeast that is, but again you'll notice here Trinity County still kind of in that drier slot, and then going into Friday and through the weekend we still have that drier air in place. This is what's going to be approaching as we go into, say, Monday, Tuesday of next week, and eventually bringing some rain possibly for parts of the coast, and then of course out towards the inland areas, Trinity County and even Siskiyou County as well. So once again, we can take a look at Futurecast here, and there it is. This is our in-house forecast model that we're looking at. So you'll notice not as aggressive with how far west it brings it on in. You'll see this model keeps it mainly east of the valley, but this does still want to skirt parts of the eastern portions of the valley. So we may want to split the difference in there. I'd say around I-5 eastward is where we have the best chance for showers and thunderstorms in the valley this evening and tonight. West of that, I think the chances may be slimmer, but don't let your guards down. I'll be watching this throughout the evening tonight, and if need be, I may be cutting in, and we'll be taking a look at these storms as they push on through. Tomorrow morning at 2 a.m., there you can see those showers and thunderstorms once again, mainly north of the valley, east of the valley, Bernie, Mount Shasta, out towards Dunsmuir. McLeod, you're seeing some of those thunderstorms as well, even out towards Susanville, out towards Lassen and Plumas counties. That pushes northward at 6 a.m. Now it's mainly impacting Siskiyou County at this point, but still some scattered thunderstorms here off to the east. But notice again, not a lot of activity here for Trinity County or even western Siskiyou County at this point, as that will pretty much die out. That is noon on Wednesday. Then we take you into Wednesday afternoon, more thunderstorms popping up. Now I think a better chance for western Siskiyou County, but you can see it's not very widespread. Scattered showers and thunderstorms here for Wednesday afternoon, Wednesday evening. That continues into Wednesday night as well. Let's take you into your Thursday. So Thursday morning, it's another dry start to the day. Midday, those afternoon clouds beginning to develop on Thursday. By Thursday afternoon, there's more scattered showers and thunderstorms, but again, not very widespread, but we still have that potential for thunderstorms. And I do expect most of this activity to move on out of here by the time we get into your Friday. Let's take a look at that long range, and for now it's looking fairly dry. You see a couple of systems trying to skirt the area throughout the weekend, but for the most part I'm going to keep it dry. Maybe by the time we get into your Sunday, Monday, really Monday, you can see this system that could bring us some showers here for the coast. This looks to be one of those typical winter type patterns, right, where you see most of the rain over the Pacific Northwest, and it does clip Northern California, so places along the coast, Trinity County, Siskiyou County could see some of that shower activity here as we take you into Monday and possibly Tuesday of next week as well. In the meantime, the heat is still going to be a factor over the next few days as we still have this heat in place. However, by the end of the week, that is going to retreat. We're going to start to see some cooler air right here begin to push down to the south here. That begins to move closer to us as we get into your Sunday, Monday. So this will be the source of cooler air, but also that source for that potential for showers to develop early next week. It's going to be that taste of fall. The normal high in Redding is 96. We're going to be about 10 degrees below that here at the coolest, and temperatures kind of hovering in the mid to upper 80s here for all of next week, around 90 by the time you get to the end of next week. Certainly a welcomed sight. Indeed. Take a look at those wave heights there. You can see about 3 to 5 feet here along the coast. We're not going to see much change here. In fact, they may lower a little bit here going into your Thursday. All right, so here's a look at your neighborhood forecast, sponsored in part by Dignity Health. Let's start off here with Trinity County, where temperatures are going to be in the upper 90s once again. Notice I don't have any showers for you till Monday, Tuesday with that potential for some of those showers here. Let's take a look at your Dignity Health North Coast neighborhood forecast. Dry through the weekend, maybe some showers coming in by next Monday and Tuesday. By the way, that Monday, Tuesday time frame, that's going to be changing here over the next few days. There's been a lot of inconsistencies after Thursday as far as any chances for rain are concerned, as we go through the weekend and even as we go into next week as well. But for now, we'll keep that chance for thunderstorms in Siskiyou County for Wednesday, Thursday. That's sponsored by Dignity Health with your Siskiyou County neighborhood forecast. By Friday, Saturday, Sunday should dry out, and then maybe some more showers by Monday, Tuesday of next week. Your Modoc County neighborhood forecast, temperatures upper 80s to around 90. Thunderstorms Wednesday, Thursday, then by Friday, Saturday, Sunday. For now, I'm drying it out, and I'm going to keep it dry for Monday and Tuesday. Your Eastern Mountains neighborhood forecast, temperatures in the 80s and 90s here. Thunderstorms for Wednesday, Thursday, and then we dry things out and cool it off as we go into the weekend and early next week. Here's your Dignity Health Valley neighborhood forecast. Temperatures in the mid to upper 90s, 98 for Los Molinos, 95 for Hamilton City. Taking a look at that 7-day forecast, you're in the mid 80s by the time you get into Monday, Tuesday in Oroville. And really that's the same thing for Chico as well. So there you have it. Temperatures mid to upper 90s for tomorrow and Thursday, and then temperatures do start to drop as we go into the weekend. Let's take you up to the north. Still about 100 degrees, give or take here for Redding all the way down to Red Bluff. 101 out for a high today, tomorrow, that is in Palo Cedro, 97 in Whiskeytown. Let's take a look at that 7-day forecast for Redding, and it's going to be pretty hot still, at least through Thursday. Temperatures dropping down to the upper 80s for the weekend and mid to upper 80s by Monday and Tuesday. That is your evening update. Be sure to keep checking in through the evening as I'll keep updating should there be any severe thunderstorm warnings, especially in the valley. Until then, have yourselves a great night, and we will see you tomorrow morning at 6 a.m. and live on Coffee with Krueger at 6:30. Have yourselves a great night.
Construction season is well underway in the North State, and we'd like to remind drivers to slow down around work zones. Keep Caltrans workers safe when they're on the job, and remember to be work zone alert when you see the color orange. Remember to pay attention to signs, merge early, avoid distractions, and don't speed. This message is brought to you by Caltrans District 2.